now moving into the fantasy side of things. Risers of the week, who you got here, big fella?
Well, actually, Derrick Henry first up. We just talked about him,
Really?
but I know you can't rise much when you're
Yeah,
already
well,
like that. But I think
true.
he's like. Would you have him top three? Do you reckon now?
Well, he was my 3
Oh, okay, so I had him.
before this week, so now he's probably my 2.
I had him 6 or 7, which is probably quite low. Pretty much just because it's a PPR league and he doesn't catch the ball, but
That's true. Yeah.
the bloke's just a freak. So
Yeah. And like he's starting to do this every year. Like he just had a couple huge games, and even if he has a few not so big games, it's probably worth just having in your side because he's basically going to win you a few matchups, for certain. My first riser of the week, I've got your man from last season, James Conner. He was my QB, my running back 11 going into the week, and he whipped out 17.2 against Cleveland. The game script suited him because they just fed him. But the main thing that excited me about this performance was Cleveland are the 6th best run defense in the competition, and he whipped out 17.2 against them. So yeah, for me, he's definitely rising. I actually tried to trade him in last week, but the owner of him is inactive on the game, which is what we love to see. But yeah, they actually play. I was looking at their fixture until week 16. They play bottom half run defenses.
oh shit.
Like it's honestly the soft. They have Tennessee, Dallas, and Cincinnati as well. Like in that section, and they're all bottom 4. So extremely soft draw for James Conner. And if they get it, they're a pretty good team, so they're likely to get ahead in a lot of those games. And he's just going to run the ball down. So he's definitely someone. If he was owned by an active player, I'd be definitely having a crack at him. But no chance of getting him, thanks to my younger brother Campbell. Cheers, brother. Who's your other riser of the week?
Ronald Jones of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Another buddy Campbell owned player.
Yeah, all his players are rising in value, and his team's somehow beast, despite never looking at it. But I mean, when I verse him, he'll probably have 3 blokes on the bye, so I'll just grab a free win. But yeah, Rojo looks beast. Fournette's nowhere to be seen. He looks like a genuine elite talent, and the Buccaneers are a great offense, so he'll be scoring a touchdown every week, you'd imagine, and going for 80 plus yards.
Fournette has been questionable going into the last 2, so that would be my only worry. But I don't think Fournette's going to be able to get many touches given Rojo's form.
Yeah, Fournette will just come out on 3rd down, I think.
Yeah, very excited for Rojo. But yeah, once again, sad that he's pretty irrelevant for our league. But for those playing out there, definitely have a crack at Rojo. Where was he for this week for me? He was my 23, but yeah, definitely leapfrogging some of the blokes like Singletary, Montgomery, David Johnson. My other rise is probably someone ranked a bit lower, but JD McKissick of the football team. I had him all the way down in 52nd, which I don't know if that's a shock. I don't think many people know who he is, but he was started in our league, wasn't he? Didn't someone in our league start him?
Yep, Tyler started him.
Yeah, but he got 14.4 against the Giants, and you think that, that's not even good. The Giants are pretty bad. Giants are the 5th best run defense in the competition. So pretty spicy from McKissick, but more importantly, he's a huge piece in their passing game. I think given how poor they are on offense, I think the dump off is just the common play, really. So he's had at least 6 receptions in the last 3 weeks. And in a PPR league, that's just money for gold. Like that's money for jam there. Because that's a guaranteed basically 10 points if he's getting 40 yards from 6 receptions.
Yep.
And add a few carries to that, and you're loving what you're seeing. And then in the next 5 matches, they've got Dallas twice, Cincinnati, Detroit, and then they've got the Giants again. So very favorable fixture, as Dallas the 2nd worst run defense, Cincinnati the 3rd worst, and Detroit are the 7th worst. So in larger leagues, he could probably be a RB2 or a flex player. But yeah, he's probably someone, I don't know if he'll be in the waivers for a lot of people, but definitely try and get him in because I think he could be a pretty spicy option. Faller of the week, I'll start us off for a change. I'll go the old reverse snake order. David Johnson, I was very high on him this week. He had a great fixture coming up, and I had him as my RB14. Traded a lot to try and get him, but the owner is a stubborn little prick, and that's my older brother Lockie. If you've watched past episodes of this show, but yeah, couldn't get him, and I'm kind of glad I didn't. He got 13.9 against Tennessee, who were the worst run defense coming into week 6, and that 13.9 includes a touchdown. So he had a base score of 7.9, and his team scored 36 points, and he didn't capitalize on that. And I know the game script didn't suit him because they were obviously chasing down the Titans, so they were just airing everything out. But you would be expecting a few dump offs in that situation, or at least a rushing touchdown to get them over the line. Well, he did get one, but you'd be expecting just more points in general, really. And I was doing some research. Watson has done 17 dump offs in 6 weeks. That's split between Duke Johnson and David Johnson.
Is that
So
is
that's
that
an average of less than.
targets?
Yeah, that's done on targets. Yeah.
Oh shit!
So that's an average of less than 3 attempted dump offs a game. So they're not great for PPR, those two guys.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
not good.
David Johnson, he still has some good fixtures coming up, but I just think his scoring potential is pretty limited because he doesn't catch passes, and yeah, they just love to throw the ball basically. Who else have you got to talk about here in the falls? Who's your main guy?
I'll start with Damian Harris, Patriots. He jumped up in my rankings last week after running for 100 yards, and I think he had like 9 carries for about 25 yards this week. I'd say he's probably back into irrelevant territory going forward because they have Rex Burkhead and I don't know what's
Michelle's coming back in 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, he's definitely a big faller. He was already pretty irrelevant, but
yeah, if he's not doing well without Michelle there, he's got no upside because Michelle's going to come back. His carries are only going to get fewer. The only chance he has is if he has a huge game in the next 2 weeks before Michelle comes back. But that's looking very unlikely. Yeah, he was my RB31, but I almost picked him up in free agency going into the week because I had a guy move to the IR spot. So I was tempted to pick him up because I thought he had a lot of upside, but I didn't, and I'm quite glad about that because I'm sure he will be, as you said, dropping into irrelevancy in my rankings. But yeah, for sure, he's not looking great either. Any of the Patriots options, really. My other faller of the week was my man, Todd Gurley. He got 9.7 against Minnesota, who are just like a bang average run defense. But yeah, the team was ahead for most of the game, so he had 20 carries, which is what you love to see as a fantasy owner. You love to see volume, but this has been the worry with Todd Gurley all year. 2.4 yards per carry, and no matter how many times you touch the ball, we've seen it with Kenyon Drake all year. It's pretty hard to go big when you are getting absolutely nothing done on the ground.
Yeah.
But yeah, they scored 40 points. He didn't get any of them. He has a few good fixtures to come, but yeah, I was high on him. He was my RB15. He's probably going to drop quite a few spots after this round. But yeah, we were talking to Curtis about it before. He was saying this is what I was expecting, volume and TD potential, which is true. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't really like someone who relies on TDs to be in my team because, you know, that they're bound to get a stinker every now and then, which I don't really want to be a part of. Yeah, the volume is nice, but yeah, I don't know.
He hasn't been copping too much in the passing game, has he? Caught a few this week, but I don't think Ryan likes to dump it off.
I think they go to the other guy.
Brian Hill.
Yeah, I think they go more to him when they pass it, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, he hasn't been getting much done there. Who's your other faller of the week?
This one's kind of not really due to his performances, but Melvin Gordon. He was sick this week, but he's got this drink driving thing going on, and I haven't seen an update for a few days, but I think we're expecting him to probably get suspended at some point.
So yeah, I was doing some research about it. I don't really know why this is a thing, but apparently it's getting decided in like the second week of November. What suspension he gets.
So he's free to play before then?
I don't know how it works because I know, well, this is irrelevant to United States listeners, but I know in the NRL, which is like the rugby competition of Australia, that once, like before you go to court, you're not allowed to play. But I don't know if that's the same in the NFL. Because I don't think he's like ruled out for this week. So I don't know what's going on there. I was finding it hard to value him last week, knowing that it's apparently normally a 3-week suspension. So I found it hard to value him because we don't really know when that 3 weeks is going to hit. But I also saw something saying that if Denver's not happy with the league suspension, they're going to smack a few more weeks onto it. So yeah, probably not looking good for him. If he does play this week, I would probably try and offload him if I was a Melvin Gordon owner, and maybe try and offload him to someone who doesn't know that much about the NFL, who's not paid attention to the news, because
that's half our league.
Yeah, I definitely think I'd be getting rid of him. Anyone else you want to mention, or do you want to move on to your favorite men, the wide receivers?
Yeah, we'll go to the receivers, unless you have another bloke.
Queensland! It's a miracle! Oh, yeah! What about that one? Unbelievable! Balotelli! Aguero! Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.